Hey guys, I'm Steff and welcome back to my beauty stash. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. We are going to be trying out the brand new Natasha Denona TRIOCHROME eyeshadow palette. This is part of her holiday collection for 2020, and guys, she is definitely a beauty. Now, you're going to be getting 15 different shades in this palette. You're going to be getting 12 matte shades, and right down the center here, guys, these are her multi-chrome shadows, and these are very similar, not in texture, obviously, and consistency, but in shade to her liquid multi-chrome shadows that she released about a couple months ago, and I believe these are all shades that are in that line. I know Scarab is, and I'll double check on the other two and let you guys know, or I'll have that running down here. But I want to say you can find all three of those shades in her liquid multi-chrome shadows, and each of those shadows retail for $28. Now, this little beauty right here, this is a $129 eyeshadow palette. This is definitely the most expensive palette in my stash, but I did take advantage of the Sephora VIB sale, so I got this little beauty for 20% off. Now let me just show you for reference this palette to compare the size to one of the other Natasha Denona palettes that I have in my stash. So here we have the Natasha Denona Glam palette that was also released not too long ago. So when you compare the sizes, you can definitely see that the TRIOCHROME is obviously a little bit bigger. Now, this is also a 15-pan eyeshadow palette, but there is a size difference between the two. All right, guys, so let's dive into live swatches of this palette in indoor lighting. I, of course, will insert a picture of what these look like swatched in outdoor lighting, and then I will be creating two different looks using this gorgeous palette, and then I will come on and give you guys my review, my final thoughts over this brand new limited edition, guys, limited edition Natasha Denona TRIOCHROME eyeshadow palette. If you want to see how it performs, how it does, keep on watching. This is the shade Scrap. Androdite. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now this is the first of the multi-chrome shades, and this is Scarab. Next we have the shade Ion. Next is the shade Vert. Next is the shade Naga. Next is the shade Manganese. Now we're going to go into the next multi-chrome shade, which is Kinetic. Now we're going to go into the shade Redox. Now we're going to go into the shade Tungsten. Now we're going to go into Vertex. Now we're going to go into the last multi-chrome, which is Color Lip, or Color Flip, I should say. You can see what's left there on my finger. Really pretty shade. Now we're going to go into Garmin. Last but not least, we're going to go into the shade Diatonic. So here is the new Natasha Denona TRIOCHROME eyeshadow palette swatched, indoor lighting on a fair to light skin tone. these are the two completed looks using the brand new Natasha Denona TRIOCHROME eyeshadow palette. Let's jump into my review and then I will give you guys some alternatives for this palette. So this is a limited edition 15 pan eyeshadow palette and all of the shadows are brand new with the exception of the Multichrome shade Scarab right here. You can get this shade in her liquid Multichrome formula, which unfortunately I didn't pick up any of those. They do retail for $28 each on the Sephora website, but all the other shades, guys, are brand new to the Natasha Denona line. I don't know if we're going to see these shades again because this is a limited edition palette, but if you love matte shades, then that's what's anchoring this entire palette because she did include 12 matte shades and then those 3 multichrome shadows shadows down the middle. And guys, these multi-chrome shadows, I have them all on my eyes right now. I have 2 of them on this eye and 1 of them on this eye. They were gorgeous, and they work really well with just a finger application. I did apply this bottom shade right here, which was Kinetic. I used a small little pencil brush. It worked fine. I'm sure if you like to spray your brush, which normally I do spray whenever I'm going to use shimmers, but I didn't do that today. I'm sure that would really intensify the look. But yeah, these are beautiful, beautiful multi-chrome shades. And I just love using like foiled and multi-chrome shades because they just give your eye look that something extra. Like when the light hits your eye, sometimes it'll look green, sometimes it'll look blue, purple, whatever the undertones are. But these are really, really pretty. And I really loved, I kind of like that she did predominantly mattes and just included those 3 multi-chrome shades down the middle. I think it really helps you build your look and kind of maybe be a little bit more creative and actually maybe even take out some of the guesswork in how to use, if you're not really used to using colorful palettes. I think the more matte shades you have, the easier it is to maybe come up with looks. Now, I do want to give you guys some suggestions on how to use this palette. So what I was noticing from Natasha Denona's Instagram is some of the most beautiful looks that she was creating using this palette, she would just go by rows. So in one of the looks that I saw earlier today, she used like the entire bottom row to get her look. And in another look, she used the entire top row to get that look that she was showing. So that's one way that you can approach this palette. Just go straight across and focus on the shades that are in that row. And what I like about this palette, guys, is that all the shades go with each other. And you probably noticed that I skipped around a lot. I don't necessarily go row by row or like quadrant by quadrant. I like to skip around and kind of put shades that you wouldn't normally think would go together. I like to put them together because for me that just helps, you know, increase my creativity and just experiment and find out what works and what doesn't. And that's the beauty of makeup. If it doesn't work, wash it off, start again. So I really like the color story that she included. I think they're all very wearable shades. Definitely you can create everyday looks, you can create evening looks, whatever your heart desires. They are powdery, guys, so there is gonna be some kick up in the pan. And even when I was swatching them with my finger, I did notice that kick up. So just be a little bit careful. The multi-chromes, guys, beautiful. I mean, all of the shades, they really performed well. And while maybe they didn't all swatch well on my arm, they applied and blended out beautifully. And I got like very, very minimal fallout, like hardly any fallout. So if you're like me and you don't like to do your eyes first and then your base, don't worry about that at all. The quality is there. These are really good quality shadows. I had no problems with them whatsoever. Like every shade performed the way I was expecting it to. Now, guys, this is a $129 eyeshadow palette. This is the most expensive palette that I have in my collection. And I think it is really unnecessary to spend that much. If I didn't have my YouTube channel, would I pay even $100? Because that's about what it came out to with the Sephora discount. Would I pay that much for a palette? Probably not, guys. You know, it's gonna be whatever your budget allows you to do. And if maybe you're just looking to splurge, then why not? Like, you're gonna get good quality shadows, you know, and it's a fun color story. But I'm going to leave it up to you whether you want to pay the $100 or $129, whatever it's going to come out to. And maybe you're going to get this as a gift for somebody. I mean, holy cow, like who wouldn't want to receive this palette as a gift, open it up on Christmas morning? It really is a beautiful palette, but I'm going to leave it up to you whether it's worth $129. Now, let me give you guys some alternatives in case, you know, it's absolutely nowhere near your budget. I totally get it. Guys, the palette I'm going to show you, and I'm going to insert some swatches here so that you can see what it looks like. I keep going back to this little NYX Ultimate Utopia palette like all year. Ever since I got this palette, I've been going back in and just using it. Like, I've been able to find so many shades in this NYX palette that I have in all these new palettes that I'm getting. So go figure. And let me hold these up. Now, I'm not duping formula. And this is, I don't even know if I want to say that this is a dupe. I'm just going to call it, these NYX palettes, some good alternatives, because I don't think I'm going to show you any that are multichrome. Well, actually, there might be a couple multichromes in some of these other palettes, but not necessarily in this NYX palette. But you can see this is what they look like. There are definitely lots of similarities in here. I was able to closely dupe 12 out of the 15 shades that are in this Natasha Denona TRIOCHROME eyeshadow palette. This little NYX palette retails for $35 on the Ulta Beauty website. I did do a review over it, so I will have it linked up above and in the description box in case you want to check it out. But I'm sure you can find this palette on sale. I think I've seen it for as low as $25. So it is available right now at Ulta because I just saw it online the other day. If you don't want to get the NYX palette, some other things that you have in your stash, maybe you have them already. The Too Faced Pumpkin Spice palette, which I also did a review over this palette, and this is what it looks like right here. Let me hold up this Natasha Denona palette next to the Pumpkin Spice. Again, not spot on, and I didn't even swatch these, but kind of similar color stories right there. You can see that. You know, you get the shimmer, you get the matte. Again, not identical. This is not a dupe. It's just something that you might want to consider, or if you already have this pumpkin spice palette in your stash, then you might not feel the need to splurge on the Natasha Denona palette. Now, I did swatch this next palette, and this is the Juvia's Place Wahala palette, and this is the first palette. And I know they recently released a Wahala 2 palette, which I'm very excited about. I haven't ordered it yet, although it is on my list. But here are these palettes next to each other, on top of each other. So as you can see, there are definitely some major similarities. Now, I want to say this Wahala palette is in stock on the Juvia's Place website. If it is, I will have it linked in the description box down below. If it's not, I'll still link something from Juvia's. I'll just link the Juvia's Place website so you can go check out some of the other things that they have, because Juvia's does make some amazing eyeshadows. So I thought that these were very similar to each other. And the new Wahala palette is primarily a blue toned palette. So if you like blue shades, that one is available on the Ulta Beauty website. And then the last eyeshadow palette that I thought was kind of similar, and I did a few swatches. I couldn't find all of the shades in this palette. But this is from Melt Cosmetics, and this is the Impulsive palette. I've had this for a little over a year now, and it is available on the Sephora website. This one retails for $70, $74. So this is a pricey palette on its own, although I think it might be on sale right now in addition to, you know, the current holiday sale that Sephora is having. So definitely check it out. I will have it linked in the description box down below, but I love the color story of this palette. Really, really pretty. The Wahala palette is $38. Okay, and then the pumpkin spice, I think the Too Faced pumpkin spice, I think this is $42 or $44, something like that. But some alternatives maybe in case you cannot afford to shell out, or you don't want to shell out the $129 for the Natasha Denona. Totally understand that. I do want to tell you guys that if you're just looking for those multi-chrome shadows, you can definitely buy those as singles from many different indie brands. And some of the ones that I have and have just been totally blown away with are from JD Glow Cosmetics. And I have these three right here. And I'll go ahead and swatch these for you. But these are little singles that you can get from JD Glow. And I want to say they retail for like $6 or $8 a piece. And guys, these shades are absolutely gorgeous. Let me swatch this one right here. Look at that. This one is in the shade Varsity. Now these next two are similar to what's in the Natasha Denona TRIOCHROME eyeshadow palette. These are so pretty. This one is in the shade Chartreuse. And then this last one is the shade Insane. So again, just some other options in case you're only wanting those multi-chrome shadows. You can definitely find them from many different indie brands, and I'll have some of them linked in the description box down below. But these are the ones I have from JD Glow, and I've really been enjoying them. Like, they just completely blew my mind away. So absolutely love these shadows. Definitely worth checking out. And it's always good to support, you know, indie brands, which I think Natasha Denona is also an indie brand, but she's just a larger indie brand. So guys, these were the looks. Those were my thoughts. What did you guys think of this brand new Natasha Denona TRIOCHROME eyeshadow palette? Is this something that is on your list? Maybe you already bought it, or maybe you're just gonna totally pass on it. Definitely leave me your thoughts down below. Leave me a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and I definitely want to know what you think about this palette. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.